So quick recap on how to get the engine out of the boat. Undo the wiring harness, disconnect the shifter cables from this side of the motor, disconnect the throttle cable from this side of the motor. All the other hardware can stay in place. There's a couple ground cables like here and here you have to undo. In my case, they were already done for me. You have the rear motor mount here, rear motor mount here. Of course, you have to undo water inlet hose. That's at the transom. Let's see, undo the power steering lines. Or another option is to just disconnect the power steering and leave that laying down in the boat. Then the motor mounts. Oh yes, you have the battery cable. You gotta undo that. In my case, I just broke it off at the battery. Or you can just cut it off at the starter or remove the starter, whatever is easier for you. This engine mount here, I always just take the nut off and lift the motor off. Take that nut off and then the motor comes off. And as far as lifting, my favorite source is always what I call the chain hoist strapped to a tree. And I'm using simple Husky straps from Lowe's. Each one's rated for 500 pounds. So I'm using two. If you have one strap, you can loop it multiple times. But these motors only weigh like 500 pounds. So two of these straps give you a little safety factor of 1,000-pound capacity. This weighs 500. So it's really safe. And of course, oh yes, fuel line, of course. Disconnect the fuel line from the boat. And that should be it. Oh yes, the exhaust. I disconnected the exhaust at these two and it just pulled out from the downpipe. And then same thing on this side. And that's all you saw me doing in the time lapse, was just going around making sure these things were done. And then I've got the engine out of the boat. If you remember, it did not come with an outdrive, but this is what we're working with now. I chose to pull the motor first before pressure washing and cleaning, just because there's no sense in getting the motor wet and trying to clean around it. Let's just get everything bulky out. And then we can get in there with a vacuum. And so yesterday I pulled this engine, and after pulling the engine, I took out the spark plugs, and look at that. These spark plugs have so much rust in them. I believe this engine is bricked. So this engine, I'm either gonna break apart, sell for parts, or just sell the whole thing as a part. So now we go to step 2. We take this whole setup and we go to the other boat with the donor engine. Beautiful southern Louisiana day. And I did the same thing. Pulled the spark plugs, checked them. They all look black. Very little to no rust. So we're gonna try to turn this motor over.